In the fast-changing world of hip-hop, creativity and innovation are the currency that drives artists and labels. One of the names that has made a huge impact in recent years is Young Thug and his YSL Records. With a unique blend of memorable beats and hard-hitting lyrics, YSL Records has left a significant mark on hip-hop culture. Artists signed to the label included Young Boy Never Broke Again, Lil Baby, Lil Keed, Gunna, Strick, Young Kayo, and many others. However, beyond the popularity the label gained for its contributions to the music industry, many people know that behind YSL Records lies a dark story that has never been fully revealed. On May 9th, 2022, the founder of YSL Records, Young Thug, along with 28 other label members, was arrested. They were charged with more than 50 crimes, including murder, drug trafficking, theft, aggravated assault, and much more. At 31 years old, Young Thug found himself at the center of one of the biggest legal cases in rap history. This legal saga halted his career at its peak, and since his song lyrics were used against him by prosecutors, it reignited the debate over using art as evidence in court. But in October 2024, the rapper was finally released. This could mean that YSL Records and Young Thug himself could become even more popular. However, will it be that easy considering the bloody history behind this label? So, let's dive into the history of YSL Records and the controversies that follow the label. Get comfortable and let's begin. When hip-hop was just starting to move away from trueness and hard-hitting beats, Young Thug turned emerging melodies into mockery. He rasped, moaned, howled, sobbed, and spoke in his own language. It seemed like he didn't care about the meaning of words. He used them as a phonetic shell, turning familiar sounds inside out. In this sense, Young Thug is often compared to Lil Wayne, but he refined Weezy's energy and took his choppy flow to the extreme. Man, that's not enough, man. They can't do what I can, yeah. Young Thug first gained attention with his mixtape trilogy, I Came From Nothing. At that time, he was signed by his fellow Atlanta native, Gucci Mane. Despite rave reviews from publications and recognition in the rap scene, Young Thug remained in the shadows and did not release full-length albums. He gained fame in 2014 after signing with Cash Money Records and releasing singles like Danny Glover, Stoner, and Lifestyle. Young Thug popularized the mixtape culture and proved that independent hip-hop could achieve widespread recognition without studio albums. His style, which rejected mainstream music conventions, suddenly became popular, and the eccentric Young Thug, known for mumbling and unusual outfits, became a trendsetter. After releasing Barter 6, mumbling lyrics and wearing women's clothing became the norm. Young Thug proved that hip-hop can exist in different forms. You don't have to fit into a specific mold to be a rapper.
Baby girl, come on. Baby girl, come on, get in.
Being a media personality, Jeffrey is not afraid of performances. To promote his album Slime Language, he sent snakes to journalists, and during a fashion show, V-Files, he walked onto the runway to fix a model's suit. When Young Thug was on his way to his first Grammy Awards, he was almost detained for traffic violations, and later, weapons were found in his car. However, he still made it to the ceremony and won a Grammy for his ad-libs on Childish Gambino's song This Is America.
Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now.
Thus, it can be said that Young Thug gained popularity not only because of his rap and talent, but also because he was simply being himself. A bit eccentric, down-to-earth, and therefore captivating, fans instantly loved him. In 2016, Young Thug achieved significant success, even making it into the Billboard Top 5 for the third time in a row. But beyond that, Young Thug is also a great businessman, which is why in 2016 he founded the label YSL Records. At 25, Young Thug showed off the YSL Records office on Snapchat, as well as the official logo.
Yes, quick question. Hey, thank you.
And the most important thing that I can say to all of you guys, it's not whether it's 300 or YSL. Look at the person, look at the guy that committed to us every single day. Could have went to a lot of, always stand 100, 300 with us.
The rapper also filmed co-founder of 300 Entertainment Kevin Lyles giving a speech to the office staff. Here are his words. The most important thing I could say to all of you guys is that you see a man who dedicates himself to us every day. He is always with us. His new venture will change our way of thinking. In this particular case, he is not just an artist. Of course, he was talking about Young Thug. In 2017, he announced the first artist to sign with the label, Atlanta native GUNNA. That same year, the label signed rapper Lil Duke. Later, Young Boy Never Broke Again also joined the label. In November 2016, YoungBoy was arrested in Austin, Texas, on suspicion of first-degree attempted murder in connection with an alleged drive-by shooting. While in jail, the rapper re-released 2 of his mixtapes, Before I Go and Mind of a Menace 3. YoungBoy was released from jail in May 2017 after accepting a plea deal and posting bail. That same year, the rapper left YSL Records. It is also known that Lil Baby was signed to the label for some time. We must also mention Lil Keed, whose introduction to Young Thug was quite amusing. The young rapper played a track for Young Thug in a parking lot, after which Thug immediately agreed to sign him to the label. One might assume that Young Thug has a gift for spotting talented musicians among young rappers, as the label was doing more than well. The artists were getting millions of streams, fans, and success, while Young Thug was making money. By 2018, a significant event took place. Gunna met Lil Baby. In the spring of 2018, they released the joint single Sold Out Dates, which became the first in a series of their collaborative hits. On August 15th, 2018, Young Thug announced a mixtape featuring artists from YSL Records, titled Slime Language. The rapper chose an original way to inform music media editors about the upcoming release. He sent aquariums with snakes to their offices, naming the reptiles after his own songs. The release was launched on August 16th. The premiere was eventful. On the night from Thursday to Friday, the police stormed the release party and arrested Young Thug after finding several firearms in his car. However, judging by his Instagram, he was out on bail the very next day. The mixtape featured artists such as Lil Duke, Gunna, Strick, Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Keed, Nechi, Lil Baby, Jackies, Tracy T, and others. The mixtape received positive reviews, and one of the most successful tracks from the release was Chanel Go Get It, featuring Young Thug, Gunna, and Lil Baby. The music video for this track amassed over 65 million views, which is a great result for the label's first mixtape. On September 12, 2018, Gunna and Lil Baby released their joint track Drip Too Hard, which became the lead single from their collaborative mixtape Drip Harder. It was released on October 5th. The single and the mixtape ranked 4th on the Billboard Hot 100 and Billboard 200 charts, respectively. At the beginning of 2019, Gunna released the single One Call, which went platinum and became the lead track from his debut studio album Drip or Drown 2. The album was released on February 22nd, featuring other Atlanta rappers such as Lil Baby, Young Thug, and Playboi Carti. The single One Call ranked 56th on the US Billboard Hot 100 chart. After this album, it became evident that Gunna had begun to surpass his mentor Young Thug. It can be confidently said that in 2019, he became one of the main faces of YSL Records. Consider this. A week after its release, Gunna sold 90,000 copies of his new album Drip or Drown 2, surpassing Young Thug, who, in a similar period, sold only 38,000 copies of his album Slime Season 3. However, this did not affect their friendship in any way. On August 16th, 2019, Gunna featured on Young Thug's single Hot from the project So Much Fun. The track reached #1 on Apple Music. On October 31st, a remix was made with an additional verse from Travis Scott.
Show you the time frame. 100 mil down on my desk, but I'm still up this.
Speaking of star collaborations, we must mention the track Relationship by Young Thug and rapper Future. Although the track was not released as a single, it received double platinum certification from the Recording Industry Association of America. When talking about the success of YSL Records, one cannot overlook Lil Keed. On March 27th, 2019, the rapper was nominated for 10th place on the XXL Freshman list.
He ain't taking losses, I ain't taking none either. Bad little bitch, yeah, I turned to a skitter. 4-line left.
However, as with most labels, behind the curtain of success and wealth lies something much darker. We have already told you about the bloody history of Cash Money Records, and YSL Records is no different. Let's start from afar. Young Thug was involved in the criminal world from an early age. Despite his penchant for wearing women's clothing and sometimes exhibiting feminine behavior, Young Thug was associated with various street gangs and groups since childhood.
For rap though.
Yep.
So it ain't as stupid as it would be now.
Mm-hmm.
This was like way before rap. It's like 2007, 8. I'm only like 11, 12. Shoot, just got guns. I probably had my first gun at like 9 or 10.
But they said it was grown rappers coming to you though.
Nah, facts.
Okay.
Facts. A lot of big homies coming to me.
How did that all simmer down? Did it just over time? Like,
yeah. So many people had ended up going to jail dealing with that shit. The Katrina people, the niggas from Katrina who came down, and a few people from Atlanta. It was so many trials, and like it was probably like 20 people that got life sentences.
Wow.
About this situation.
Wow.
This shit.
Wow.
It was so much grimy shit going on. It was crazy. A lot of people got the rest of their life in prison about that shit.
This long-standing connection with crime would later influence not only Young Thug himself, but the entire YSL Records. One major conflict that would have serious future consequences was Young Thug's beef with YFN Lucci. It all started on Twitter when Young Thug, before the release of his album, wrote on Tupac's birthday, "I will release a project on Tupac's birthday because I am the new Tupac. I feel like the gangster he never became, so I will finish what he started." This tweet immediately sparked debate in the hip-hop community, and many rappers voiced their displeasure. In response, Lucci tweeted, "Pac would have never worn a dress," followed by a clown emoji. Lucci was referring to Young Thug's 2016 mixtape Jeffrey, where the rapper appeared on the cover wearing a dress designed by an Italian designer. Young Thug explained that he wore the dress to hide an AK-47. He then responded to Lucci with a series of tweets, vaguely threatening him with death. The situation escalated, and it seemed that Young Thug and his team had picked the wrong opponent. Lil Duke, often referred to as Young Thug's right-hand man, was shot in the left shoulder and left leg in 2018. A video even surfaced online showing the rapper and other YSL Records members fleeing from gunfire. Officially, the assassination attempt is not linked to Lucci and his team, but considering previous tweets from Young Thug, you can never be sure. After that, the feud quieted down for most of 2018, but in March 2019, Young Thug went live on Instagram and responded to some of his fans' comments. One user asked about YFN Lucci, and Young Thug said he was going to slap Lucci. "I'm gonna whoop all your asses, you idiots," he said on the live stream. "Stop playing with me."
Man, of course I'm gonna slap the fuck out Lucci, and I'm gonna slap the fuck out Sauce. I'm slapping the hell out y'all little nigga, man. Stop playing with me. Niggas don't even play with me because they know what time it is. Like. So for y'all niggas to play with me, just really tell me, like, confirm that y'all don't know what time it is, you know? Or y'all feel like I'm a hoe, or y'all feel like y'all play with me, or a nigga feel some type of way. You feel a weird way about me, like a nigga may feel something like, slam a bitch, or I don't care, bro. I want water. So, you know, you gonna get that up. I'm getting you all that.
Lucci responded with a video message using an insulting nickname and said that Young Thug doesn't beat anyone.
Hey, man. Y'all stop tagging me that pussy ass shit, man. Nigga ain't gonna slap nobody. Yeah, man. All them niggas had punching bag, them niggas been getting slapped out. All his little friend he wanna make cool with him. He got niggas he wanna go link with. He punch their ass out. You got that nigga. Come on, man. That man a hoe, man. That nigga been running out the mall, boy. You a hoe.
Yeah, punching bag.
You don't never put your shit on Instagram and your shit get dropped and shit, do it.
Yeah.
Come on, hoe. Stop playing with that, nigga.
Yeah.
Bitch ass nigga. Cheap ass teeth in your mouth. Nigga. And I'ma butt you down to get some more, ho. Yeah, cheap ass earring, nigga. Your little cheap ass jewelry, man. Hoe ass nigga.
In May 2019, Lucci became the victim of an assassination attempt when his Mercedes SUV was shot at in Atlanta. TMZ reports that Lucci was not in the car at the time, but police found a man with 2 gunshot wounds, and Lucci's mother is the registered owner of his vehicle. In the photo provided by TMZ, you can see bullet holes all over the car. The shooters were serious. At first, there were no speculations about who could be behind the shooting, but soon it became quite clear. OG Nut was a close friend of Lucci, who died during the shooting, and shortly after the attempt on Lucci, the word slat was spray painted on OG Nut's grave. This only points to Young Thug's involvement, since who widely popularized this term and uses it in his everyday speech? It's Young Thug. After that, the rappers continued to taunt each other and insult each other publicly on social media. No one stopped or tried to stop the beef, and Lucci almost lost his life again. In June 2020, 3 attackers fired dozens of bullets at him. Fortunately, he was not injured, but the bullet grazed the thumb of a 15-year-old teenager.
In Southeast Atlanta, we're told the rapper YFN Lucci was on scene shooting a music video when shots were fired at his Bentley. At least one of the 21 bullets hit the car. A 15-year-old was grazed in the thumb. Right now, now, police are searching for 3 suspects.
This beef not only became a clear indication that crime is a regular thing for Young Thug, but it will also have consequences in future legal proceedings with Lucci's team. On May 9th, 56 charges were brought against Young Thug and 27 individuals associated with the label under the RICO statute. So, what is RICO? The full form of the acronym is Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations. It's a federal law of the United States that provides for extended criminal penalties and civil lawsuits for actions committed as part of an ongoing criminal organization. This is exactly what YSL Records is being accused of, and almost the entire situation is directly related to it. Young Thug and YSL Records were identified as members of the same criminal street gang, and some of them were charged with very serious crimes, including murders, assassination attempts, and armed robbery attempts. Surveillance of Young Thug continued for almost 10 years, which explains the enormous 88-page indictment claiming the gang was involved in a wide range of illegal activities, including witness intimidation, murders, attempted murders, carjackings, robberies, theft, and drug trafficking. The case is so large that one of the suspects even included Donald Trump. Several people have already been identified as victims of shootings, including Lil Wayne, whose tour bus was shot at by Pee Wee Roscoe, a member of Young Thug's group, in April 2015. This is now proven. Young Thug has been found guilty of committing a series of serious illegal actions in which he is not directly charged with involvement, but which are characterized in the 88-page act as clear actions supporting the criminal motives of the gang.
Court of Young Thug in a blue jumpsuit. The rapper and 28 other defendants charged in a 56-count indictment.
If the charges are proven, an aggravating circumstance will be that Young Thug is the leader of the criminal organization, which could mean that the minimum sentence, if being extremely optimistic, would be 20 years in prison. It's Young Thug who risks the most. Among the direct charges are threats of murder and possession of prohibited substances with the intent to distribute. Young Thug is also suspected of renting a silver sedan used in the murder of the leader of a rival gang in January 2015. 5 people have been charged in this case, including Young Thug and also Yak Gotti, a rapper from Young Stoner Life. In previous court documents raised earlier, it was mentioned that the close relatives of the deceased immediately blamed members of YSL Records. It was after this incident that there were serious disagreements between members of YSL Records and YFN, leading to an open public feud, which we've previously discussed. Among the 56 charges brought against YSL Records, the following are listed: arson, bribery, document forgery, distribution of controlled substances, which is the main charge against GUNNA, fraud, promoting criminal organizations, extortion, murders, kidnappings, money laundering, contract killings, robberies, and much more. Prosecutor Willis also stated that YSL Records may have been involved in election fraud in Georgia, which means they could have been directly linked to Donald Trump, though the court had insufficient information on this matter. Rumors that Young Thug's lyrics would work against him were confirmed, for example from the banger Slatty. It turned into evidence in a matter of hours. Here's a quote from the rapper's track: "I killed his homie right in front of his mama. Fuck the little dude, his sister and cousin. We're working with him like we're in anatomy class at school." At that time, Lil Keed was the only well-known member of YSL Records, who was still at large, but soon news of his death followed. Many found this strange, and fans even speculated that the only reason Lil Keed remained free was because he had snitched on YSL Records, and for this reason he was killed shortly after the arrest of YSL Records. Lil Keed was not the only one accused of snitching on the gang. GUNNA was released from prison after he struck an offered plea deal, admitting guilt to 1 racketeering charge. As a result, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison and 500 hours of community service, with the first year being credited as time served, and the remaining 4 years deferred due to probation conditions. After his release, some fellow rappers and many social media users believed that he snitched on Young Thug by agreeing to a plea deal to get out of prison. On October 31st, 2024, it was revealed that Thug had struck a plea deal.
You know, I come from nothing and I made something and I didn't take full advantage of it. I'm sorry. I learned that late, like these past 2 or 3 years of my life, I kind of learned that.
Later that same day, the rapper was sentenced to 40 years, 5 years of prison, with time served credited, 15 years of probation, and 20 years in prison if probation is violated. The conditions of Williams' release and probation include a ban on living in the Atlanta area, a ban on making music related to gangs, and an obligation to perform 4 annual concerts performances against gangs in Atlanta, as well as not contacting known gang members or accomplices. He can return to Atlanta only for short periods and under strict conditions. 4 times a year, he must give mandatory lectures on the dangers of guns and gangs to local youth, and also attend weddings, funerals, graduations, operations, and urgent medical procedures for family members. He must agree to searches at any time, undergo random drug tests, and refrain from promoting gangs in any form. The 5 years of prison were replaced with time served, and the rapper was released the same day.
Hey man, what you gotta tell these people?
Back. Back, Jack.
You feel me?
You did.
Hey man, ain't no cap in it.
No cap in my right.
You feel what I'm saying?
The right way.
It's time.
Right way, bro.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right way.
Yeah, that way.
Yeah.
And go tell that.
On December 3rd, 2024, the longest trial in Georgia's history ended with the acquittal of the last defendants, Yak Gotti and Shannon Stillwell, on charges of murder, racketeering, and gang involvement. Unlike their co-defendants, most of whom dropped their cases or struck deals to secure their freedom, Stillwell and Yak Gotti did not plead guilty and successfully took their cases to trial, but still ended up free. So, what lies ahead for YSL Records? Given that almost all members of the label have been released, one could assume that the label's affairs will develop positively. A striking example of this is GUNNA, who, after being released from prison, dropped several releases that became insanely popular. Take, for example, the track Fuck You Mean from the album A Gift and a Curse. The album debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200 chart, selling 85,000 album equivalent units in its first week. Fuck You Mean became a mega hit, and GUNNA's second most popular track on the Billboard Hot 100 after Drip Too Hard.
Young girl don't want that back calling me splurge. Ride me jump right off the curb.
Even while being incarcerated, Young Thug managed to drop an album that had very good commercial performance. Business is Business is the third studio album by the rapper, released on June 23rd, 2023. The album features collaborations with Drake, Future, 21 Savage, Travis Scott, Yak Gotti, Lil Uzi Vert, B-Slime, Lil Goatit, and Nate Ruess. The album debuted at number 2 on the US Billboard 200 chart, selling 89,000 units in its first week. The album also accumulated more than 107 million song streams on demand in total. Thus, one can be confident that YSL Records will continue to grow, even though this legal battle will remain a stain on their reputation that no hip-hop fan will ever forget. However, the commercial results speak for themselves, and the popularity and fans have not left the members of YSL Records. And perhaps considering this is the most high-profile case in the hip-hop industry, it may have only brought new listeners to YSL Records. We hope that Young Thug and his label have truly learned a lesson from this case, and we won't see them behind bars again, but instead will enjoy their new releases and rap hits. What do you think about the story of YSL Records? We'd love to hear your opinion in the comments. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you later.